So Raw this week started with Michael Cole telling us that Naomi is injured, so her world title match with IYO SKY is off. And then we didn't get any more details. This is the issue, when all of a sudden you are saying some injuries are real and some injuries aren't real. We don't actually know what's going on, but we always err on the side of caution here on ups and downs. So I just hope she's okay. Like, you never want to get injured, but right now would be terrible timing. Naomi is one of the best characters in the company. Also, my friends, and welcome to Raw Ups and Downs. This is your wrestling review show, and the only wrestling review show you need, because I watch the pro wrestling, because you don't have to. And I'm just going to warn you now, you may get Meltdown Miller today. Now, of course, I am hamming up for this episode, but at the same time, I don't really understand what WWE is doing. Thankfully, I have a finger of power. Let's up those downs. CM Punk was the first guy out on Raw as well, and the Quebec crowd went nuts for him, which is actually quite hard to say. And he's both happy but also angry. He's over the moon because everyone's being so nice to him. Also, he's meant to be the world champion right now, and he's not. And why? Seth Rollins. He went as far to say that he has a Seth Rollins problem and that Seth is just acting like CM Punk, and he's failing at it. And I was like, okay, let's just look at this from a story point of view. Right now, Seth tricked everybody, and he's the world champion. Sounds like he's actually doing pretty good. CM Punk had finally climbed that mountain after 12 years of not being a champion, and now he just feels like he's let the fans down. But actually, at the same time, he's so angry about this, it's lit a fire under his ass. So let's go get that title back. Now, thankfully, Punk also mentioned in the past that he too had used Money in the Bank cash-ins, so he understands the game. But the issue is, once again, he hates the player. And boy, howdy does he hate Seth. He went as far to say that next time Rollins won't have to fake an injury, because he'll just go and break his legs. When LA Knight came to the ring, I was like, okay, I guess your name must be Legs now, which is very interesting. And man, I was so sad here because I am a nerd. These two shook hands. I was like, no, don't be friends just because you're both baby faces. He screwed you over last week, LA Knight. Maybe you would have been the world champion even though your head was about to go into the floor. I need less of this in my wrestling. If somebody has begrudged you, you must hold a grudge. Or something like that. Thankfully, he did talk about this and said, man, you did steal all that away from me last week, even though I get it, you should be the champion, but you got screwed too. When Punk was like, yes, but Seth Rollins was going to squish your head into the concrete. But if I was LA Knight, I'd be like, you don't have any faith in me? You don't think I was going to move? Watch this. See? I can do it. That really was a down for me because it just felt like a missed opportunity, like I do say. When LA Knight tried to make a deal, I suppose, he was like, listen, I'll take on Seth Rollins, I will win, and then you can take on me, and that's good because a few weeks ago, you told me I wasn't on your level, so you can get in this ring and prove it. I was like, oh yeah, he did say that to you, LA Knight. Why the hell are you being kind to him at all? They then started to kiss, which of course is not true, that didn't happen. And here it kind of felt like they were just saying things, waiting for the interruption, which was Paul Heyman with Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, and he was all like, ha ha, you two are such idiots, we all hate you, we don't like you, boo, 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 you're not gonna go anywhere. But eventually CM Punk and LA Knight shut him up. To cut a long story short, basically we are having a tag team match later. So this was exactly what we did on SmackDown, because it was CM Punk that went, oh, we will accept your challenge. And LA Knight was like, listen, you don't talk for me, but yes, fine, we'll do the tag team match. A lot of this was really strange. So really, I just think we could have had much more fun with this given their past interactions. I'm just going to repeat myself here. I do not need good guys being friendly with other good guys just because they're meant to be good guys. I think of all the interactions that CM Punk had with a Cody Rhodes or a Seth Rollins before he did turn heel. It made it super interesting because they have their own motives and they had their own goals. And you, my friend, are just getting in the way. I also would like to know how LA Knight has just magically become a Raw guy. I swear, if we have a draft in a few weeks and WWE tries to make a big deal out of this, well, I'm not going to do anything about it because what could I possibly do? But given that this was mostly okay, I'll also give it an up. Even I think I'm being too kind there. But like, it wasn't bad, and CM Punk and LA Knight are always good on the microphones, and the crowd loved them so much, there was something to it. Although, actually, no, I take it back. I found the reason for the up. When Bron Breakker was being pulled away, he started shouting, you're 47, and you're 40, you're basically 100 years old. I am so pleased that WWE has allowed Bron to go back to how he was in NXT. He was kind of a faceless warrior for a while. This version way better. Dominik Mysterio then found the Judgment Day, and yes, he was with El Grande Americano, or at least one of them. There's probably like 72 at this point. And Raquel Rodriguez was like, he shouldn't be in our clubhouse, man. We don't like him. Now, Finn Balor did agree with this when Dom went, yeah, but, you know, we're going to go down to AAA and we're going to win some titles. And Finn was like, well, that sounds great. Now, you would never know that Finn and JD McDonough are the tag team champions because WWE has just decided to never mention it again when we did start to build to this Triple Mania match because it was Dominik Mysterio and El Grande taking on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. So I presume that AJ woke up one day and said, you know what's on my bucket list? I want to team with a mythical creature, and now he's done it. Good for him. We may as well just talk about the finish as well, because this is going to be the theme of this week's ups and downs, because bam, the dick board, because you bet your ass there was distraction, interference, and confusion here, and it also made me laugh so much, right? I never really thought about this until I saw it, but you saw El Grande get the metal plate out of his pants that he usually sticks in his mask, and it was so small. Now, of course, it would only go on the head area, so it can't be that big, but when I saw it in person, I was like, well, that's not intimidating at all. It'd be like headbutting somebody with some foil. No, it didn't work because AJ Styles was too smart for this, so he booted El Grande in the head. When Dom was like, all right, well, I wear a mask to the ring. He put it back on. He stuck the smallest weapon in the world in there. He smashed AJ Styles as El Grande hit the most devastating move. In all the sports entertainment surprise roll up, 1, 2, 3. Now I assume that this does mean that AJ Styles is eventually going to beat Dominik Mysterio for his IC title. And as we keep getting all these rumors that AJ is going to retire soon, I think we should do that. Because if anybody deserves one last championship run, it is him. Also at one point during this, Dragon Lee did a dive, so put a 1 on the dive counter. Now I am going to give this up because I thought it was super duper fun. But it shall tie into things we talk about later. Sami Zayn then remembered that it is wrestling in 2025, so he found Adam Pearce and said, listen, Adam, I really would like a title shot, so Geeth's title shot. And Adam was like, listen, I'll think about it, okay? Why don't you just concentrate on Rusev for now? They're fighting later. This is when Sheamus walked in and Adam was like, you better not get involved. And Sheamus just went, nah, I'm going to get involved, and there was no punishment to this. But thankfully, Sami Zayn wants a clean fight. So because Sheamus and Sami are now friends, Sheamus was like, all right, I won't get involved during the match, but as soon as that bell rings, I'm going to attack. And Adam Pearce, he was totally fine with this. IYO SKY and Roxanne Perez also fell out after this, so Adam Pearce just made the match. And this idea is now totally out of control on Raw and SmackDown. Like, neither Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce actually have cards for these events. They just sit around going, man, I hope some wrestlers fall out this evening, otherwise, what the flub am I going to do? Anyway, that's going to happen later too. And all this does mean is that one day, maybe Raw has 0 matches, and then what is WWE going to do? Just play a load of video packages? We save that for PLEs. I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to get in trouble. Well, I do have to be a sad panda. If you watch my content, you know I'm a big fan of Rusev and I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn. But they did have a match here and it was entertaining and I was so pumped. But have a guess how it ended. That's right, distraction, interference and confusion. Put a 1 on the flipping dick board. And this one was actually even worse because it ended in a disqualification. And DQs in WWE are getting so out of control and so plentiful, I may actually be a super geek and just make my very own disqualification counter, because what are we doing? And essentially, yes, Rusev was throwing this guy around when Sami Zayn, as he is wont to do, did fight back just as he was going to hit the haluva kick. Of all the people, Solo Sikoa and the MFTs turned up, they attacked, they didn't care, and very nicely they had waited 10 minutes. Disqualification. Of course, Sheamus did turn up instantly. He didn't give a fuck about any of this. So him and Rusev got back to brawling. This actually was quite funny, because the useless wrestling security ran out and they were useless. And one dude just got thrown over at the announce table and he stayed there for a while. Even the commentators were like, somebody better help this guy. I think he's hurt. Ultimately, though, I was disappointed because, again, I was enjoying Rusev versus Sami Zayn, and then it got taken away from me. Like, I don't mind any wrestling company doing this kind of finish, but not in every single match. Otherwise, nobody wins and nobody loses, and everybody is protected. If everybody is protected, nobody is protected. It's like if everything is a shenanigan, nothing is a shenanigan, just don't book the match. So I'm giving it a down. How the flub have we got here? Sami Zayn versus Rusev is like Christmas Day for me. But I refuse to go back on this because that's how I feel. I wasn't elated at the end of this. I just I cannot believe we did it again. Pearce and Nick Aldis then fell out over the fact that the MFTs had done this. I was so mad. I was like, LA Knight was on your show earlier. Nobody seemed to care. Bias. The New Day then picked the worst moment to complain to Adam about Penta. So he made Xavier Woods versus Penta. And that annoyed me too. I was like, that's more bias. Don't take your bad mood out on them. We did thankfully get this awesome video featuring Bronson Reed, who is now just walking around calling himself the tribal thief. And of course, he focused on the fact that he is just going to steal shoe after shoe after shoe. So in many ways, I'm just saying, just putting it out there, he is the modern day Repo Man. That makes me happier than a happy man. I am just going to give that an up. It puts joy in my heart and it puts warmth in my tootsie toes. I don't know what that means. But a wrestler deciding, I'm just going to thieve your clothing? Works for me. Also, IYO SKY getting ready for her Roxanne Perez match when she did bump into the Kabuki Warriors. And Asuka was like, listen, we can come to the ring to help you because Judgment Day is probably going to be ringside too. And IYO was like, no, I think I can do this by myself because I've done it before. I was like, right, you know what's coming. It starts with the letter S. Shenanigans. It was well timed as well because it was IYO SKY versus Roxanne Perez and somebody called Britney Spears because oops, we did it again. But a 1 on the dick board. I mean, honestly, it's getting silly. Now, thankfully, we did get a winner here. At one point, Sky did a dive in 2025, so definitely a 1 on the dive counter. But basically, Raquel Rodriguez was like, man, I've got free reign to do whatever I want. And she was casting distraction when finally out came the Kabuki Warriors, which was understandable. I understand IYO SKY had said no, but she was basically 2-1 down here, so she needed some friends. Also, just before this, IYO did her moonsault and collided into Roxanne Perez. It was genuinely scary. She went right into Roxy's face. I hope she's okay. I have no idea what Asuka and Kairi Sane's plan was because they just grabbed Roxanne Perez. And of course, when IYO SKY went to do something, Roxy got out of the way. They then collided all the good guys together. And Roxanne Perez, even though we'd done this 2 matches ago, hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. And she got the win. I think the total count at the end of this Raw was 2 disqualifications and 2 roll-ups. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not saying I could book a wrestling show, but given it's a creative endeavor, can't we just be a little bit more creative? You know what's coming, I'm giving it a down. And after all of this, Roxanne Perez absolutely could have just hit her big move and got the 1, 2, 3. What's very concerning here is afterwards, IYO SKY found Asuka and they had a pushing match and IYO SKY couldn't believe this and Kairi Sane walked off with her. So it kind of feels like we're turning Asuka heel. I'm not going to lie, this sort of came out of nowhere. But look, I am going to give the match an up because before the stupidest ending of all time, they were really working, man. IYO SKY is one of the best in the world. Roxanne Perez continues to impress. I could watch them fight forever. Or for the allocated time they get on any given TV show. I'm also just going to throw it down in for Jey Uso as well because I also thought this was lazy. I know, what's wrong with Simon? He's gone so negative, but it's just me being honest. But he was asked, wait a minute, Jey, where are you last week? Why didn't you help Roman Reigns? He went, family business. You can't say that. That's like me saying, oh yeah, I'm bored because the wombats attacked me. Oh man, yeah, it was definitely the wombat. You'd be like, listen, you need to make some sense of this. You're just saying things. Now, thankfully, LA Knight walked in and said, boo, I'm just going to say, some people think you're making this up and you were conspicuous by your absence, but not me. I was like, why not you? You should be the person saying this. So it's really better tied to something bigger sooner. I'm just jumping the gun here, which is totally fine. And essentially, they also got into a big argument about the back of the line. LA Knight thinks Jey Uso should go back of the line, and Jey Uso thinks that LA Knight should go to the back of the line. I decided that I will go to the back of the line. Wrestlers are always talking about the back of the line, but you never see the back of the line. I want to see the back of the line. Jey Uso also welcomed LA Knight to Raw, so I think that's it. He has jumped across because Jay said hello. I mean, some of this is being played with very loosely and fastly. Penta then talked about the hat he stole from the New Day last week, which was actually the best part of Raw, and how they're going to have a fight next week, which is when the Kabuki Warriors and IYO SKY did fall out. When it was Becky Lynch versus Maxxine Dupri. Now, I am going to say, I don't understand why Maxxine Dupri can't be an NXT character so she can get more reps in. But I thought this was really fun. Maxxine Dupri tries so hard, it's just endearing. And that makes me sound really patronizing, which I don't mean to. But at one point, she did an arm drag, and everybody reacted like she did a 450 off the top. But damn it, I liked it. Now, it is ridiculous she had an Intercontinental title shot, because I don't think Maxine's won a match since 1914. And poor Bayley probably had a meltdown when she heard this. Wait a minute, I can't get a shot of this, but Maxxine Dupri can? No wonder she cut that video later. Otherwise, though, there was this great bit when Maxxine Dupri reversed the manhandle slam into a stunner when she got a few moves in, including that crazy cartwheel, and then sure, her spin kick went a bit wibbly-jibbly. When Becky decided, you know what, I'm done with this, she applied the armbar, and she got the tap-out win. She then made me laugh because when she was leaving, she booted Natalya right in the face. What a horrible but very humorous person. So this really was fine, and it couldn't have gone longer than 5 minutes, and I suppose it just felt a bit different. Although also, it could be the fact that somebody actually just won a match against somebody they should have won a match against. So look, Maxxine Dupri lost. The world is still standing. I'm not like, oh, how is she ever going to recover? That's what the story is for. This was simple. And by this point in Raw, I needed something simple. I'm giving it up. Seth Rollins then backstage, and he was super happy because he thought he was going to have to deal with LA Knight and CM Punk tonight. But given that it's the Brons who's doing it instead, maybe he'll just get on the private jet and fly home. And if you believe that and thought that was real, come send me a message because I've got a wonderful pyramid scheme to walk you through. The New Day then succeeded once again as Kofi Kingston told us that Quebec isn't actually a real Canadian city, and Xavier Woods was wearing the smallest hat you'd ever seen, so my gosh, I find them entertaining. But actually, in many ways, I think Bayley won the night. Because she was sat down looking right into the lens, saying that she'd been doing wrestling for 18 years and she does consider herself a role model. But actually now, when she searches her feelings like a Jedi and goes into her tum-tum, she feels nothing. She's just totally empty now, and look at the last few months, she can't even buy a win. It's just been disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And actually, when she does stare off into the distance and gives this proper thought, maybe she's to blame. That's right, it's her fault. And the way she delivered this, dare I say, it felt real. And maybe just a little bit relatable. Can't even remember the last time she felt proud of herself, so if you are going to watch nothing else on this Raw, make sure you'll watch this. It was such a good character piece, and genuinely some of the best stuff that Bayley has ever done. That's why I thought the ending was unfortunate. We cut to black, when we came back, she kind of squeezed her head together and went whipping around the place. When we also heard her old laugh from when she was a heel. Now, of course, this is the start of a heel turn, but that last part was a bit too on the nose, but the rest of it, my goodness, it is getting an up. I don't know what we're leaning into here, but we have to push it all the way. I'm just going to say it out loud, otherwise what the flub would we be doing? I thought it was absolutely brilliant. They made a terrible mistake as we cut to babyface Lyra Valkyria. It's not her fault, man, but she had been told to act like somehow she was responsible for this. She was like, it's not my fault, I didn't do anything, and in fact, let's just remember here, Bayley cost me the Intercontinental title, and I tried to get in touch with her, but she ignored all my texts. This goes back to what we said at the start of the video. You can let people take risks. Lyra should have just gone, good. I hope Bayley has hit rock bottom because you've cost me everything. Until Becky Lynch loses that IC title, I am now stuck in limbo. So damn it, Bayley, that's why you're feeling this way, because you screwed everyone else around you. It's just so strange. Let's let it play out. That's the catchphrase, right? I sit down and wait. IYO SKY was then having a terrible evening because Stephanie Vaquer walked in and just said, by the way, don't forget, I was promised the title shot too. I was like, you could have waited till next week. When Rhea Ripley also joined, and she was saying, listen, of course you shouldn't have lost to Roxanne Perez, but look at what Asuka did, and look what Kairi Sane did, even though she didn't really do anything. You were right. And IYO SKY was just like, I lost, I shouldn't have lost. IYO SKY was brilliant on this Raw when she stormed off. Now, Asuka is quite clearly turning heel, I would guess. And this whole turn is in fast forward, but the interactions between Rhea and IYO are really, really good. And I suppose it could end with those two taking on the Kabuki Warriors. Simon Miller ain't gonna get mad at that. When we had the big tag team match to end the show, CM Punk and LA Knight taking on Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, put a one on the dick board, because I do believe for the fourth week in a row, the Raw main event ended in disqualification. And it happened. I think that's why it affected me so much this week. I sat there and I went, I bet we go about 12 minutes and Seth Rollins interferes. I am not a soothsayer. It was just pretty damn obvious. Now, the other glaring issue here was it was the exact same finish we did on SmackDown, and 9 times out of 10, I don't mind if we separate the two. But when, let's use that word again, shenanigans are just running wild through both shows, it takes away from what Seth Rollins' group is. They are meant to be the annoying heels that would get involved in their breakup matches, so you hate them. But right now, what are they doing? They're not doing anything wrong because everybody is doing the same. So if you're in that environment and you do what everybody else is doing, that's just the lay of the land. So we are stealing away from the Vision, as they're called, which is a stupid name, but we'll get over it. And really, I think that's what the big issue is. And yes, of course, it was just as CM Punk was going for the GTS when Seth Rollins did just throw himself in the ring to cause the DQ. And I hope Roman Reigns is livid when he sees this episode of Raw, because who came out to make the save when the bad guys were beating everybody up? It was Jey Uso. He had Charlie the Chair, and he chased everyone away. Thankfully, this is when we did switch things and it got way better. Zayn came out and appears and he was like, you know what, Seth Rollins, I am done with you being such a goober. So at Clash in Paris, it is going to be you defending your world title against Jey Uso, against CM Punk, and against LA Knight. So poor Sami Zayn must have been like, you lied to me, you son of a gun. But CM Punk was so over the top about this, LA Knight got pissed off and they started to fight. Oh man, we should have done this at the top of the show. And when Jey Uso tried to break them up, he got elbowed in the face. I was like, you're damn right. CM Punk was then going to hit the GTS on LA Knight, but of course Seth Rollins and his goobers ran to the ring and we got tsunamis, spears, and Seth Rollins made sure he stopped everybody. CM Punk was the last guy. When he took that world title, he held it above his head because CM Punk was now dead. So I do think all of this part was way better, so I am going to give it an up. But overall, Raw is getting one of those middle limp thumb things, whatever you call it, because for me at least, and again I could be totally incorrect, what do I know, all of this nonsense is taken away from the show. You just sit there and you wait for it and you wait for it and you wait for it. I don't want to expect a run-in or some kind of distraction, interference, confusion in every single match, because again, it takes away from the people that should be doing that. That's why it gets a weird old thumb. Now, of course, please do let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs, so smack it down. I appreciate you supporting the show. See you soon.